What if your website could bring in clients while you're wrangling your kids and reheating your coffee for the third time? Today, I'm talking to Kelly Kumler, who is an SEO pro, and she's sharing how to make your site do the heavy lifting for you and how to optimize it with what changes have come to SEO with the introduction of AI and how to show up in those AI overviews that pop up when you do a Google search. So, if you're looking for more visibility while doing less, this is the episode for you.
Welcome to Mompreneur Mastery. I'm your host, Sydney O'Brien, an Instagram strategist turned content and messaging strategist after watching the online space get louder, buyers take longer, and content turn into a performance instead of real connection. On this podcast, you'll learn how to clarify your message so your content actually stands out in a sea of copy and paste trends and AI noise, and also how to strategize your content across platforms to build the trust and connection that turns followers into clients. All in doable, brain space saving episodes you can fit in between school pickup and reheating your coffee for the third time. Let's dive in.
Kelly, can you tell us just a little bit about how you got into your work?
Yeah, so I am a former teacher and had like a hard pivot into brand and website design a few years ago. And really shortly after starting websites, I just started hearing like the horror stories of clients, spending all this time or money or whatever on building their SEO. And then they go and get their website redesigned and losing all of it.
Mhm.
So I really quickly decided I did not want that to be me, and I didn't wanna have that effect on my clients. So 6 months into starting my business, I joined a group coaching program to learn all the things SEO and have maintained being a part of this group to, like, keep up with all the new things. Just I find it such an important part of having a website that, yeah, I jumped right in and never left.
Yeah, that's something, like, I never would have thought about, like, in the very early stages of my business about how, like, you want the cute website that looks really nice and,
Mhm.
like, has all your brand colors and stuff, but you don't think about how it affects your SEO, like, when you're in those early stages and there's just a lot of stuff you don't know.
Yeah, for sure. And like even myself, was in the same boat. Like I didn't pay attention. I didn't even really know what it was. Like I had heard the term, but I really had no idea what SEO entailed.
Mhm.
And then once I started learning more about it, I loved having that balance of like the aesthetic part of your brand and your website and, like having beautiful things and cohesiveness across all your marketing channels,
Right.
but then also having this more like strategic part to your site and your marketing that also brings in organic traffic. They work so well together and they should be, really teamed up together. So, yeah, it became such an important part. And now I like can't build a website without addressing the SEO things.
Yeah. That's nice, though, being able to, like, hire someone to do all of those aspects, really, because there are definitely the specific SEO people and specifically design people, so being able to get all of it in with one service is very nice.
Yeah, that was one thing I just felt like was so important to put together and making sure that people understood like these do go together and
Mhm.
that you really, if you can afford the investment, because sometimes, yeah, sometimes it is a big investment to like do both, but trying to prioritize both pieces because they are both so important.
Mhm, for sure. Do you think there's, like, one, like, most common mistake you see when people are attempting to do their own SEO?
I feel like it's changed a lot over time and
Mhm.
especially like now there's so many AI things and rules are changing and things like that. But one of the things I see probably the most frequently is just ignoring our heading tags. So on our websites, all of the text that is within our website is tagged with a certain either heading or paragraph. Like you're basically telling Google, hey, this isn't each one a heading one. This is the most important piece of text on this page. Here's H2, heading two, threes, paragraph, etc. And usually I'll go into a website for a new client and see like what they currently have. And I use a Chrome extension called Headings Map to see like what those headings are. And almost always it's like seven H1s, a handful of H2s, just all over the place. And really the rule of thumb is to try and have one H1, kind of like your book title. And then your H2s would be like chapter titles, and threes, maybe like sub chapters, and then body or paragraph text from there.
That's good to know. Yeah. I'm really happy I actually knew that one already. I'm feeling very good about myself so far.
That is good because sometimes, like, especially website builders like Squarespace, you determine like the font styles based on the heading types. So you're like, okay, heading ones are going to be, this font type and in this font size. Heading twos will be this and this. And
Mhm.
so a lot of people go into building their website just like, oh, that one looks good there. So I'm going to
Yeah.
use that text there, really not paying attention to like what the text is and what the heading is. So it's one that really easily gets overlooked.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because I do have Squarespace and like I definitely used to do that for sure.
Yeah, it's so hard because sometimes you just want to make it look pretty, but
Yeah. Yeah. And you just
kind of
don't know.
planning all of that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now a thing you talk about a lot is SEO so you can sell on autopilot. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that means? Because I feel like my listeners being primarily mom business owners would be very, very
Mhm.
interested in that.
Yeah. Anything that we can do to get time back, right, is always a bonus. So, what SEO does, so I'll go back a little bit to just like what it is. And SEO is search engine optimization. So, there's all the search engines out there like Google or YouTube or Pinterest, any search engine that we use or is available on the internet has its own set of rules to serve the best content to people that are searching. So it's not rules to like keep your website down or up or whatever. It's really just trying to filter out what is the best piece of content so the person that's looking for that piece of content can find it.
Mm.
So we go into, trying to set up our websites so that we can address the, make sure that the content is the most easily found. What we really want to do is have, be creating content or our websites that are continuing to show up on Google or whatever search engine we're really aiming for, so that anytime someone searches, a keyword that's related to what you offer, your website is coming up. So, one of the best things about SEO is one, of course, it's organic marketing. So, it's not something that you need to, be paying for like ads or something like that. And also, it's something that you can set up one time really well and then just kind of add to it and check in on it over time. As they do big algorithm changes, like with AI, there's been a lot of changes to the algorithm and a lot of changes to just like user behavior. So we do need to go in and like take a look at things and make sure that we're still addressing what people are looking for and how they're searching. But otherwise, it is kind of like a set it up and then let it be, which allows you to, not be spending all of your time on this and have that kind of running on autopilot.
Yeah, that sounds like the dream, honestly. Much better than like constantly cranking out like reels or something like that to get seen.
Yes, exactly. So
Yeah.
that's what you hear a lot about like the shelf life of different pieces of content,
Mhm.
and like blogs tend to have much longer shelf life. They are out there and being found for months or years to come. Whereas like on Instagram, when you post a reel, it's probably going to get eyes on it for, the most like within that first couple hours and then maybe a day or whatever. And then like beyond that, it kind of trickles off. And so it is a very like high touch platform. Like I love Instagram. I'm on it all the time. I get a lot of my clients from there, but it is one that you do continue have to be putting out new content. Whereas for SEO, like using blogs or your website pages, that longer form content can be a little less frequently.
Mhm. Yeah, and getting clients on Instagram is also like it takes a lot of engagement too, which I know
Mhm.
not all moms have a lot of time to do.
Mhm.
So being able to have the longer shelf life content is really nice. Now you mentioned blogs. Do you like periodically do you review them like older ones to make sure they're doing well or like is it just when you hear about news of like updated algorithms and behaviors and things that you do it?
Yeah, I would say that, I mean, quarterly, maybe
Mhm.
semi-annually, check in on your analytics. So look at Google Analytics, look at Google Search Console. Those are two really great tools for just seeing how your content is performing, and look at some posts that maybe were performing well and aren't as doing as well anymore. How can you
Mhm.
add to those and change those so that they are getting more eyes on them? Or if you have any posts that are like, 2025 business tools or something that is very annual, go back and refresh that every year instead of making a new post every year. Going in and updating the old post can actually improve its performance because they see that this is like a long-standing piece of content that already has eyes on it. They want to keep serving it to people that are searching for it. So it's
Oh.
definitely not like, don't go into every single blog post you've ever written and spend time revising those. Just really looking at those like top performing blogs or ones that should be top performing and need a little extra attention.
That makes sense, yeah. Because most of my blogs come from, like, podcast episodes, and, like, I would absolutely,
Mhm.
like, update or, like, re-record, like, a like, top whatever annual list I was sharing, I would make a new podcast episode. So it's good to know, just update the blog next time.
Yeah, just put the new episode into that post rather than like starting a whole new one.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, if someone was just starting out trying to learn about and, like, get their website to have, like, SEO success, what would the very first step, be that they should do?
I would go through keyword research. So, keywords is really the basis of SEO. It's how your content is getting found because it's what people are searching for. So, a keyword is just that word or phrase that someone's putting into the search bar, looking for a piece of content to answer their question or help them on whatever resource they're trying to find. So, it's really about going through and trying to figure out, what keywords do you want to be found for? What keywords are your ideal clients or customers actually looking for? And how hard is it to rank for that term? So
Mhm.
I use a tool called Uber Suggest. There are many out there, but Uber Suggest does have both a free and paid version. So it's always nice for if you're like just testing out if you like it to jump into the free version. And you can put in keywords into their keyword ideas category or area, and it will give you some information. So it will tell you how many people search for that term each month, which is the volume, and also the SEO difficulty. So, how hard is it to rank for that term? How much competition is there?
Mhm.
Because you might have a keyword that, has 1,000 people searching that each month. But if it's really hard to rank for because some like massive corporation is ranking for it, then it might not be worth your time to search try and rank for that specific term. So there might be something else that's similar or that kind of like follows the same journey that your ideal client might be on that you could jump in at that point and it is a little easier to rank for so that you can kind of grab people at different levels.
Nice. And how long does it normally take, do you think, for people to start seeing results from trying to manage their SEO?
Once you get everything set up, I usually say 4 to 6 months. So with my
Mhm.
own SEO clients, we do the setup and then we have a call 4 to 6 months later to look at the progress because before that point, some people, like 2 weeks in, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I see an immediate difference." But
Yeah.
most of the time we do need a little bit of time to check on everything, make sure things are growing, go in and adjust if we need to, and then like at that 4 to 6 month point, take a look at what progress was made so that you can make any changes from there. But it is, organic. So it needs time to grow.
Yeah, for sure. And you don't wanna, like, make changes too early if it doesn't get that time to grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you noticed any changes in SEO with AI and, like, AI content being used more and more?
Yes, definitely. There are some changes. I would say a lot of things are going to stay the same. A lot of the SEO rules are staying the same, but a lot of people are now using AI platforms for the like quick answers. So
Mm.
if you were previously getting traffic to your website from like Google posts, like maybe you had an FAQ section that were like really quick question and answer type things, those are probably now being found more through AI platforms or even not, the Google search that's like that quick little blurb.
Oh, yeah.
So if you like didn't have that optimized in the right way, it's not going to show up there. And I actually just before our call got an email about how Apple is releasing its own AI search engine. So it
Oh,
is
wow.
going to be highly prioritizing the like quick answers. So wanting to have, those very brief like I'm not like, don't give me all the answers and the resources and the do this and that. Like, give me a quick answer and then I can, dive in from there.
Mm.
So, one of the suggestions was that maybe if you have a blog post that's like a really in depth solution to some problem, like at the top, put it like too long didn't read blurb,
Yeah.
and so that is also being found because we want like AI doesn't want to like have to make up its own words like, oh, let me browse their blog post and then put together my own blurb.
Right.
Give the blurb to them so that they can find it super quickly.
Wow, that's super interesting. I hadn't considered that.
And the rules with AI are still, I mean, this is still so new
Yeah.
that I imagine it will change a lot over time. So it's something that we'll have to keep an eye on and like see how it continues to change. But for now, that's that's where we're at for now, and it might change by next week.
Yeah, that's valid. I feel like a lot of kind of online marketing things in general are like that, especially with AI on the scene now.
Yeah, I know. And it's like even with again, like I'm using Instagram as an example because that's like my most used platform. But
Yeah.
they change the algorithm and you're like, oh man, suddenly like no one's on my page or I'm
Right.
not getting views anymore. Like everything changes so quickly that I know it's like part of our job is not even just like the services that we offer. It's like staying on top of all the changing things.
Yeah. And there's too many
Too
changing
many,
things.
I know.
So for the mompreneur who is like super strapped for time, which I'm pretty sure is all of us, what is one small action they could take like this week to help them with their SEO?
I would if I'm saying we've already done the keyword research part,
Yeah.
then I would go through and audit your page titles and meta descriptions. So that would be the things that show up when someone searches on Google and it gives you the whole list of links or websites to follow. The like link that you click on is your page title and then the little paragraph below it is your meta description. So if you don't put those in yourself, then Google will like auto generate one for you. But when you have the control to do it yourself, which you do on almost any website platform, you can put in, your specific keywords that you're trying to rank for so that you are showing up more for those searches and you're prompting people to actually click on that because if they're searching for that keyword and they usually, put that keyword in bold in the results, then they're going to be more interested to click on it like, oh, this is what I'm looking for. So
Oh,
I would do a quick audit of that and change those up.
yeah. And I noticed, like I said, I have Squarespace and they do like they have like an AI service that like will autofill descriptions for like images now, like the alt descriptions. I had no
Oh, do
idea that
they?
was a thing. Yeah.
Wow,
There's
that's
like
nice.
a
I did like,
I
oh, go
haven't
ahead.
like used it to see what they are or like how it fills it
Mhm.
in, but I thought that was interesting. I don't know how well it works.
Yeah, I know that must be a new one because I just built a Squarespace website in the spring and I didn't see that feature yet. So it must be new.
Oh yeah, this was probably like a couple weeks ago. I noticed when I was just
Oh,
like
okay.
rummaging around. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be so nice because it's such a quick, like, there are, like, I definitely use AI to help me write page titles and meta descriptions. And then I'll be like, okay, that sounds like a robot and like change it up myself. But it gives you a really good starting point. And like, same thing for alt text, which, again, if you're not familiar with alt text, it's like describing a picture. So using words to describe what's in a picture because, again, like search engines can't look at a picture necessarily and tell what it is. Although I imagine that is coming at some point. If they can look at
Yeah.
a picture and write the alt text for you, then it's probably on the horizon. But when we have alt text on our images, not only is it good for like accessibility, but also for search engines. So to have a tool that's going to do that for you, again, just saves you a lot of time.
Mhm. Yeah, it was in the settings and then SEO, and I was like, "Oh, not all of your images are like have alternate titles or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, interesting." And then it offered to like just fill them in for me.
Nice. Yeah. You'll have to try it out and then
I
like
know.
report
See
back.
how it goes. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
weird though, because it looked like it was going to do like it could do like all of them in one go and like super quickly. It's like this
Oh.
if it works well, that would be very impressive. Like very
Yeah.
handy.
Yeah. I know. And yeah, so nice because that is such an afterthought.
Yes, it really is. Like I have a million
Yeah.
other things to do. There's a lot of stuff I forget.
Yes.
Now, you also have a guide of where people can put SEO keywords on their website or where they should put them, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. Yeah, so that is one of the things I find with SEO is like, okay, a lot of people understand that keywords are a part of it, but then we don't actually know like where to use keywords other than in the words on our website.
Mhm.
So I go through 9 places on your website that you should be including your keywords so that it is effective and, gets your website found on Google by addressing all the algorithm things.
Nice. And is the images, is that one of them?
Yep, it totally is.
Nice. Good to know. I'm excited to see what the other 8 are. I'm gonna put the link for that in the show notes for sure, because even just hearing the word 9, I'm like, "Man, I feel like I'm probably missing some."
I know there's so many, and it's one of those like again, we're all busy moms and entrepreneurs. You know, if you don't hit all 9, it's not the end of the world. But if you are starting with none and you can hit 1 or 2, then like that, you're already on a better path.
Right, yeah. The more the better.
Mhm.
Mhm. Nice. Well, I'm really excited to get that, and thank you so much for coming on and explaining all things SEO to us. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and forgiving my mom brain mid episode. So.
Happens to me all the time. It's totally fine. That's it for this episode of Mompreneur Mastery. If you're building a business around your life, not the other way around, and you're tired of being told to hustle harder to make sales when you're already hustling at 110%, I hope this gave you a breath of fresh air. And if it did, I would love it if you left a quick review or shared this with another mom entrepreneur who is ready to market with more strategy and way less stress. And if you want to see what a cohesive content map across multiple platforms with strategic messaging looks like, check out the link in the show notes to grab your free copy of the Buyer Journey Content Map. I'll see you next time.